Hi everyone, my name is Mandy Berger and I'm here today to kind of show you the steps on how to properly change a tire and all the tools that you need. I do have a helper today. My daughter, Marlena Dobrinsky, is going to be the one who's actually changing the tire while I talk. To start with, I first want to kind of talk about the tools you need. The first thing you should do is always look and read your manual that goes with your car, because it explains to you some important steps, and most importantly where you need to put your jack, which we'll talk about in a little bit. If you do have a flat, it's important that you stop, come to a slow stop, pull over on a flat surface if at all possible. You need to turn on your hazards and apply your parking brake. If you have, some cars come with even tire wedges. If you have those in your car, you should also use those. Mine does not, but our parking brake is on before we start. You should also have what is called a four-way lug wrench, or my husband likes to call it the spitter wrench. This is to help you loosen and tighten the lug nuts when you are taking off your tire and reapplying your tire. You should have a jack so you can raise your car up safely and lower it safely. And you should also have a tire gauge, which we keep in the car at all times. And this is, once you get your spare on there, go ahead and use this to see if it's the proper, has the proper amount of air in it so you can go. It also is great to use to check the pressure in your tires. So to start with though, we are going to look at our manual because it's going to explain to us where we need to put our jack. A lot of people will say you need to put it on the frame right behind or right in front of the tire, but it doesn't necessarily go on the frame. What it is, so my car actually has a metal spot that hasn't been painted, and that is where the jack goes. And a lot of cars, it's the same way. They might have like a metal wire or one part that is not specifically painted, and that is where you know that your jack goes. However, before we put on our jack, we need to loosen our lug nuts, which is step one, and that's where my daughter comes in. She's going to loosen them. This just makes it easy for us, so that way when the car is up on the jack, the tire comes off nice and easily. So as soon as she gets those loosened, we are going to put the jack underneath the car. And I apologize that we're in the shop, but it is a super windy day outside, so it's really noisy. Next, we're going to put the jack underneath the car where it goes. And we are going to use the tool to raise the car. And this is actually not the jack that came with the car. The jacks that come with your vehicles are perfectly fine, but we live in the country on dirt roads, so we like to have a little bit more meatier jacks, if you want to call them, a little stronger, because this is a regular occurrence for us. And there you go, you can see the car is lifting. Just doing a great job, using all her muscles. We're almost off the ground, a little bit more. You might have to go a little higher, Lainey. A couple more times. Okay. Now that you have it raised, you can finish taking off, back up just a little, you can finish taking off your lug nuts. And I'm going to suggest, if there's two people or if it's not just you in the car, that somebody holds them, because a lot of times they like to disappear. And you really don't want to lose any of these. They are key for keeping your tire safely on the car. I'll do that. You move up to the next. Okay, now that we have those off, you can take your tire off, okay? And since our tire is not flat, we're not putting a spare on, but I wanted to completely take it off, and now we're gonna put it back on to show putting it back on. You just got to match the holes back with the right spot. And then you are slowly going to start putting the lug nuts back on. And don't go around the circle with your lug nuts. I don't know if you heard my daughter, but we were taught to put them back on in a star formation. It just helps to put the tire back on evenly. Once you have those all nicely put on with your hand, now you're going to use your lug wrench and tighten them up. And as you can see, your jack is still in place. We have not lowered the car yet. We need to tighten all our lug nuts first. And then once you get all your lug nuts tightened, you can lower your jack. But then once the car's down, you're going to tighten them even tighter. So now let's zoom in so we can get a picture of how to lower the jack. We are ready. The lug nuts are tightened. We have a little part at the bottom of our jack that we are going to put our bar on. And it just nicely takes the jack down. Okay, and now we are done with our jack. It is lowered. We will move it out of the way, and then we are ready to tighten our lug nuts more secure to make sure they are where they need to be. This is a very important step because if you don't do this, there is a chance when you are driving down the highway, if your lug nuts are not tight, that your tire could fall off. So please don't skip this last step. That would be a very scary situation. And as you can watch, if you can see, she is even tightening them in a star formation so that your tire doesn't get off balance, which is also very important. Friendly little helper, Macy. And then usually when we have a flat tire and we change it and we come home, my husband then even will come and will take the wrench and tighten them even more for us to make sure the tire's on. But that's it. That is how you correctly change a tire. Thank you for watching.